again. If you are here for the first time, please consider subscribing to this channel. In this video, we'll be talking about Mrima Hill and the valuable minerals that are found in that hill, particularly niobium. On Kenya's south coast, rising quietly above the forest of Mrima Hill, lies what many geologists consider as one of the most significant and developed mineral deposits in the world. Beneath the hill are vast quantities of niobium and rare earth minerals. Minerals that are increasingly critical to modern industrial activities, ranging from aerospace to renewable energy technologies. For more than a decade, the site has been subject to legal battles, cancelled licenses, and geopolitical interests, and repeated attempts by the Kenyan government to determine how best to develop it. Today, interest in Mima Hill is rising again as international mining firms compete for rights to exploit a deposit that some early assessment valued at tens of billions of dollars, equivalent to 8 trillion Kenya shillings. Here, we examine the latest development around the Mima Hill project, the strategic importance of minerals, the regulatory process governing mining investment in Kenya, and the economic, environmental, and social debates surrounding the project. Let's start by looking at the mineral wealth beneath the Mrima Hill. Mrima Hill sits about 70 kilometers south of Mombasa in Kwale County within carbonatite geological formation. This is a rare type of volcanic rock that is globally known for its hosting rare earth minerals and niobium. Geological surveys conducted during exploration work in the early 2010s confirmed that the hill contains large deposits of niobium, rare earth elements, phosphate minerals, and manganese. Exploration studies conducted by mining companies previously estimated the deposit could be worth more than 60 billion US dollars, equivalent to current Kenya shillings 8 trillion. Although such figures depend heavily on future market prices and the feasibility of extracting the minerals economically. Among the minerals present, we have niobium, which stands out as the most strategically valuable. Niobium is primarily used to strengthen steel alloys. When added in very small quantities, it makes steel stronger, lighter, and also more resistant to corrosion. This property makes it essential for industries such as pipeline construction, aerospace manufacturing. We have high-speed rail infrastructure, automotive engineering, among others. It is also used in superconducting materials, which are important in advanced medical imaging equipment as well as particle accelerators. Global production of niobium is extremely concentrated. More than 80% of the world's supply currently comes from Brazil, making new deposits like Mrima Hill strategically significant. Why rare earth minerals matter? Alongside niobium, the hill also contains rare earth elements, a group of minerals that are crucial to the global energy transition. Rare earths are used in production of electric vehicles, motors, wind turbine, magnets, smartphones, and electronics, as well as advanced defense systems. Currently, China dominates the global rare earth supply chain, controlling a large share of both mining and processing capacity. As a result, Western governments as well as investors are increasingly searching for alternative sources. Mrima Hill therefore sits at the intersection of mineral economics and global geopolitics. Let's now look at the renewed investor interest. Interest in the site has intensified again in recent years. Consortium involving Australian mining companies have been exploring opportunities to develop the deposit, working with Kenya State's mining institutions to evaluate the feasibility of commercial extraction. The Kenyan government has also commissioned fresh geological and feasibility studies, signaling that it intends to reopen a project under a new regulatory framework. However, officials have indicated that licensing decisions will be made cautiously, partly because of the controversies that surrounded early attempts to develop the mine. There has been a legal battle that halted a project. Mrima Hill project first attracted major international attention in 2013 when the Kenya government granted a mining license to a private company, Kotek. Shortly afterwards, the government revoked the license, arguing that it had been issued without required environmental approvals and that proper procedures had not been followed. The company involved challenged the decision through international arbitration and the International Center for at the International Center for Settlement of Investment Dispute, seeking billions of dollars in compensation. Kenya eventually prevailed in the arbitration process, allowing the government to retain control of the mining site. The case became a landmark example of how disputes over natural resources can escalate into the international legal battles. Why has this project taken so long? From a project management perspective, the delays surrounding Mrima Hill illustrate the complexity of developing large mining projects. Several factors have slowed the progress. First, regulatory compliance. Mining projects require multiple approvals, including environment impact assessment, community consultation, as well as land use authorization. Second, we have environmental sensitivity. Mrima Hill is not only a mineral deposit, it's also a forest reserve, a national monument, as well as a biodiversity conservation area. This designation means that mining activities must go through rigorous environmental review. Third, we have community concerns. This hill holds a cultural and spiritual significance for the local communities, Mijikenda communities, which has made public consultation particularly important. Finally, there is also the financial and technical challenges of developing complex mineral deposit. Rare earth and niobium projects require specialized processing facilities, which significantly increases project cost. How mining investments are approved in Kenya. Let's look at that. Under Kenya Mining Act of 2016, developing a large mineral project involves several stages. The process typically begins with prospecting and exploration licenses, which allow companies to conduct geological surveys and drilling to determine whether commercially viable minerals exist. If exploration results are promising, companies can apply for the mining license, which authorizes full-scale extraction. Before such a license is granted, investors must complete the several requirements. One, they must do a comprehensive feasibility study. There must be an environment and social impact assessment, which is approved by National Environment Management Authority (NEMA). There must be a community engagement and compensation framework in place. Agreements with the governments and royalties and revenue shares should also be in place. There's a whole lot of details concerning that. The law also requires companies to present mine closure and rehabilitation plans, ensuring that land can be restored after mining completes. These steps are designed to balance economic developments with environmental protection and community rights. What are the potential economic benefits for this Mrima Hill project? If developed successfully, the Mrima Hill project could generate substantial economic benefits. For the national economy, mining could create export revenue for niobium and rare earth minerals, tax and royalty income for the government, as well as new infrastructure investment in the coast of Kenya. At the local level, benefits would include employment opportunities during construction and operation, development of roads and utilities, as well as a local procurement opportunity for businesses. Kenya's mining sector currently contributes a relatively small share of national economy compared with countries such as Botswana or South Africa. Projects like Mrima Hill could help change that. Let's look at the local opposition and environmental concerns that have come about due to this project. However, support for project is not universal. Environmental groups and community leaders have raised concerns about potential impacts on the Mrima Hill forest ecosystem. The area hosts rare plant species, wildlife, and critics argue that large-scale mining could damage fragile habitats. There are also concerns about land rights and community displacements, issues that have complicated many mining projects across Africa. For the government and investors, addressing these concerns will be critical if the project is to move forward. Let's look at other challenges facing these, or generally facing Kenya mining sector, and particularly also this project. The Mrima Hill story reflects broader challenges within Kenya mining industry. For many years, the sector has struggled with regulatory uncertainty, delays in issuance of licenses, disputes between investors and government agencies. Compared with countries such as Botswana or Namibia, Kenya mining sector is still relatively underdeveloped. Developing a large-scale project like Mrima Hill therefore requires not only geological resources but also institutional capacity and investor confidence, while Niobium may become even more valuable. Looking ahead, some analysts believe that niobium could become one of the most sought-after industrial metals in coming decades. As global infrastructure expands and industries pursue lighter and stronger materials, demand for niobium-enhanced steel is expected to increase. Unlike rare earths, which have several global suppliers, niobium production remains heavily concentrated in a small number of mines. That concentration means that new deposits like Mrima Hill could play an important role in diversifying global supply. For Kenya, this presents a strategic opportunity, but only if the project is developed responsibly and efficiently. In conclusion, you can say that the mineral deposit beneath Mrima Hill represents one of the Kenya's most promising and most complicated natural resource opportunities. The site holds minerals that are increasingly essential to modern industries and global energy transition. It has attracted interest from international investors and strategic attention from governments seeking secure supplies for critical minerals. Yet the project's long history of delays, legal disputes, and environmental concerns highlight the challenges of turning mineral wealth into sustainable economic development. For Kenya, the real test will be whether the country can manage the project with transparency, strong environmental safeguards, as well as meaningful benefits for local communities. If those conditions are met, Mrima Hill could become a landmark project for the country's mining sector. If they are not, the risk remaining that has been done, the risks remaining what it has been for more than a decade, a hill that is rich in minerals but still waiting to be explored and mined. So thank you for reaching this far. If this is your first time here, please consider subscribing to this channel. You can also hit the notification bell so that whenever we upload a new video, you are notified. You can also watch other videos that we have made on this project and other projects in Africa. So let's meet in the next one. Thank you.